A very good morning, children. Today we will discuss the chapter Establishment of the Company Rule in India. Really, it sounds very odd when we say a company was ruling over a country. How it could be possible? Yeah, it was possible. For around 100 years, a company called East India Company ruled over India. So we will discuss about the British rule in India and how the British started ruling over India. In this chapter, we will discuss about the major wars fought and how by fighting wars the British established their control over India. So here we will discuss about Carnatic Wars, then the conquest of Bengal by British, then we will discuss about Anglo-Mysore Wars, Anglo-Maratha Wars and Anglo-Sikh Wars. So let us start with coming of Europeans to India. As per as the historical evidences are there, it was Vasco da Gama who first came to India. He reached in Calicut in the year 1498. That was the first historical trace or evidence we are having. So the first European to discover India, to come to India, was Vasco da Gama. He came in 1498 and he was a Portuguese sailor. And by 16th century, the Portuguese established a colony in Goa. In the next century, many European countries came to India, and these European countries were England, Spain, France and Holland. So many European countries came to India. They established their trading centers and they established their factories. Now, what were factories? Factories were those places where factors worked. Now, who were the factors? The workers. Factors का मतलब है the workers. So factories were those places where the factors worked and factors का मतलब है workers. ठीक है. और ये जो कंपनीज आए यूरोप से, what they took from India, what they purchased from India, what they bought from India. इंडिया से वो स्पाइसेस लेते थे, कॉटन टेक्सटाइल, स्पेसिफिकली हैंडलूम्स लेते थे, इंडिगो and saltpeter. So these were the various products they were purchasing from India and were selling in Europe, which were in great demand in Europe. Among the different European trading companies, one important trading company was East India Company from England. This company established 3 presidency settlements in 3 important provinces of India. And these 3 presidency settlements were Fort William, it was established in Calcutta for Bengal presidency. Fort St. George, it was established for Madras presidency. And Bombay Castle Watch, they are in Bombay presidency. मतलब इंडिया की 3 बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट सिटीज में इसने अपना ट्रेड सेंटर्स एस्टेब्लिश किया था. ये खाली ट्रेड सेंटर्स नहीं थे, इसमें फोर्ट्स थे, किला थे और जिसमें बहुत सारे आर्मीज और मिलिट्री भी थे. सो दैट वाज हाउ द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी व्हिच केम टू ट्रेड इन इंडिया वाज इक्विप्ड विथ all important weapons also and military forces also. And next we will discuss how this company became an imperial power. एक बड़ा पावर, एक रूलिंग पावर कैसे बना ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी. इट फॉट विद अदर यूरोपियन कंट्रीज, जो दूसरे यूरोपियन कंट्रीज थे उनके साथ लड़ा, उनको डिफीट किया, उनको इंडिया से बाहर किया, एंड देन इट एस्टेब्लिश्ड इट्स कंट्रोल ओवर इंडिया. एंड टू स्टार्ट विद वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द कार्नेटिक वॉर्स, हाउ द ब्रिटिश फॉट द कार्नेटिक वॉर्स with France to just drive away France from India and to control over India. So let's discuss about the Carnatic Wars. In Carnatic Wars, we will discuss about 3 Carnatic Wars. सबसे पहला Carnatic War 1746 से 48 के बीच में हुआ. Second Carnatic War 1749 से 54 और थर्ड Carnatic War थोड़ा लंबा चला, करीब 7 साल, जो कि एक्सटेंशन था 7 years वॉर का यूरोप में जो चल रहा था. दैट वाज फ्रॉम 1756 से 1763. सो अल्टीमेटली द ब्रिटिश control Carnatic. So let's discuss about Carnatic Wars. Carnatic War continued over a period from 1746 to 1763. So between this period, three Carnatic Wars took place. Now let us go for the first Carnatic War. The first Carnatic War continued for 2 years. Okay, and so Colonel Burnet, he was the British colonel, and Dupleix, naam yaad rakho, Dupleix was the French general. So when the Austrian War of Succession was going on, Dupleix occupied Madras. British and France had an agreement that they won't occupy any territory in India, but in spite of that agreement also, Dupleix, the French general, occupied Madras. Then the British also wanted to fight against French, and ultimately it was in 1748 an agreement was made between the British and the French. A treaty was signed and the war ended, and Madras was returned back by Dupleix to the British. उससे पहले आपको यह जानना जरूरी है कि जो कर्नाटिक एरिया है उस एरिया में पंडिचेरी जो था दैट वाज द सेंटर ऑफ द फ्रेंच ट्रेड एंड मद्रास वाज द सेंटर ऑफ ब्रिटिश ट्रेड. आपने पढ़ा हुआ है 3 ब्रिटिश सेटलमेंट्स था, एक था सेंट फोर्ट जॉर्ज. तो ये दोनों के बीच में एक टेरिटरी था दैट वाज नोन एज आर्कट. द टेरिटरी वाज नोन एज आर्कट and Arcot was the capital of Carnatic. So both the French and the British wanted to occupy Arcot. इसीलिए दोनों के बीच में लड़ाई था. Now second Carnatic War, it continued between 1749 to 1754 and इसमें एक नया मोड़ लिया. There was a war of succession between whom? Between चांदा साहेब and Anwaruddin. Anwaruddin कौन था? Anwaruddin was the Nawab of Carnatic. The conflict between Chanda Sahib and Anwaruddin for the throne, and Chanda Sahib was supported by Muzaffar Jung and Anwaruddin was supported by Nazir Jung. अब दोनों गुट अलग अलग हो गए. चांदा साहिब और मुजाफर जंग को सपोर्ट किसने किया? फ्रेंच ने. एंड अनवरुद्दीन एंड नाजिर जंग वाज सपोर्टेड बाय ब्रिटिश. इन द बिगिनिंग द फ्रेंच डिफीटेड अनवरुद्दीन, ठीक है, एंड हिज सन मोहम्मद अली फ्लेड अवे. द सन ऑफ अनवरुद्दीन, मोहम्मद अली फ्लेड अवे. बट ब्रिटिश प्लॉटेड विथ नाजिर जंग एंड डिफीटेड फ्रेंच. And with this ended the second Carnatic War. Now the third and last Carnatic War. The third Carnatic War, it continued from 1756 to 1763. The British general was Lord Clive. He sent Colonel Ford, and Colonel Ford occupied Northern Circus. ये Northern Circus कहाँ पर है? ये जो कर्नाटिक एरिया उसके ऊपर के हिस्सा में है नॉर्दर्न सर्कस. सो नॉर्दर्न सर्कस वाज ऑक्युपाइड बाय कर्नल फोर्ड एंड द सलाबत जंग वाज द रूलर ऑफ डेक्कन. तो फ्रॉम हिम नॉर्दर्न सर्कस वाज टेकन अवे बाय कर्नल फोर्ड, एंड कर्नल फोर्ड वाज सेंट बाय रॉबर्ट क्लाइव. रॉबर्ट क्लाइव, हु वाज रॉबर्ट क्लाइव? ही वाज द ब्रिटिश जनरल. And finally in 1760, it was in 1760 in a place called, so it was Robert Clive, and in 1760 in Vandy Wars, remember the place? French were defeated, and in 1763 का सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? ऑस्ट्रियन वॉर ऑफ सक्सेशन वहां जो चल रहा था यूरोप में वो भी खत्म हो गया. एन एग्रीमेंट वाज साइंड इन पेरिस. पेरिस फ्रांस की कैपिटल, यूरोप में साइन हुआ. एंड एज पर दैट एग्रीमेंट पंडिचेरी वाज टू बी हैंडेड ओवर by French to the British. इसके साथ Pondicherry, which was under control of French, it came under British. In which year? 1763. And finally, in 1770, French East India Company was dissolved. The next important topic we are going to discuss in this chapter is conquest of Bengal, the most fertile province of India and prosperous and wealthy province of India. Under it we are going to discuss three topics. Battle of Plassey, जो पहला battle था 1757 में हुआ था. Battle of Buxar 1764 में हुआ, जिसमें फाइनली 3 रूलर्स कंबाइनली डिफीट हुए थे. और उसके बाद ब्रिटिश ने कैसे बंगाल में एक सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट डेवलप किया जिसका नाम था डुअल गवर्नमेंट. सो वी विल डिस्कस दिस 3 अंडर कंक्वेस्ट ऑफ बंगाल. नाउ लेट अस हैव अ लुक इनटू द पॉलिटिकल बैकग्राउंड ऑफ बंगाल. The Nawab of Bengal was Alwardi Khan. He was a wise ruler. He knew how to keep the European merchants under control. After him, his grandson Siraj-ud-Dawla became the ruler. When he became the ruler, he knew that the British had a fort, and that was Fort William in Calcutta, and they fortified the fort. That was not liked by Siraj-ud-Dawla, so he sent his troops to the fort and defeated the troops because the number of British soldiers in the Fort William were less. So Siraj-ud-Dawla defeated them, and it is said that these soldiers were more than 100 and they were kept in a small room, and these soldiers died of suffocation. That came to be known as Black Hole Tragedy, and that enraged the British to such an extent. British were fighting the Third Carnatic War. We have discussed in the previous topic. So Lord Clive, whose name was Robert Clive, he marched towards Bengal with 900 European soldiers and 1200 sepoys, Indian sepoys, and fought the Battle of Plassey. So that is the background of Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey was fought in a place called Plassey, and the British easily defeated the large army of Siraj-ud-Dawla. How they defeated, that we will discuss. We have discussed that British had only a very small amount of army, 900 European soldiers and 1200 Indian sepoys, but they were well equipped. And Siraj-ud-Dawla was not a far-sighted ruler. So British made a secret alliance or agreement with his commander-in-chief, Mir Jafar. Who was the commander-in-chief of the Bengal army? It was Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar wanted to be the Nawab, and British gave him the assurance that if he did not fight the war, then he would be made the next Nawab. Mir Jafar did the same. He did not fight the war, and Siraj-ud-Dawla did not come to know it. Siraj-ud-Dawla was the Nawab, but his own commander-in-chief did not fight the battle. So that shows his lack of farsightedness. So Siraj-ud-Dawla, in spite of having a large standing army of around 80,000 also, he was defeated because Mir Jafar ordered the army not to fight. So this was a decisive battle, and Robert Clive won the battle, and as per the promise made by the British, who was made the next Nawab? It was Mir Jafar. So this was how Bengal came under British in 1757, and Mir Jafar was made the next Nawab. And what gift Mir Jafar gave to British? He gave 24 parganas to British and a large sum of money, क्योंकि उसे नवाब बनाया गया. So British को as gift 24 parganas, the prosperous provinces of Bengal, was given to British, and then he gave a huge amount of money. But the British were not satisfied. They were always demanding more and more from Mir Jafar. When Mir Jafar was unable to fulfill their demands, he was overthrown from the throne and Mir Kazim was made the next Nawab of Bengal by British. Mir Kazim was made the Nawab of Bengal. Who was Mir Kazim? He was the son-in-law of Mir Jafar. And Mir Kazim was knowing the intention of British very well. What he did, he gave equal trade facilities to British and Indian merchants. But the British wanted that the British merchants should be given more trade privileges. So they attacked Mir Kazim. Then Mir Kazim fled away to Awadh. Who was the Nawab of Awadh? Shuja-ud-Dowla. Remember the name? Siraj-ud-Dowla Bengal का था 1757 पहले. Shuja-ud-Dowla was the Nawab of Awadh. So Mir Kazim took shelter in Awadh. And in Awadh, the deposed ruler of Delhi, Shah Alam, was already taking refuge. So now these three rulers, Mir Kazim, Shuja-ud-Dowla and Shah Alam, they combinedly thought of fighting against British. So the three rulers together, they planned to fight against British. Three rulers were Mir Kazim from Bengal, then Shuja-ud-Dowla of Awadh and Shah Alam, the deposed emperor of Delhi. And it was in 1764 at a place called Buxar. The battle was fought and the British general was Major Hector Munro. Who was leading the British army? Major Hector Munro. Now, what is the significance of the Battle of Buxar? The combined armies of three rulers were defeated by British. Of course, we can say Battle of Plassey was a decisive battle because it was won by the British by treachery, by tricks. So the real battle was not fought. But Battle of Buxar was a real battle. It showed the strength of Britishers and it disclosed the weakness of Indian rulers. So after Battle of Buxar, what was the result? Very brief result is being given in your book. So that much you remember only. So what was being done? British rule in Bengal was strengthened and British got the Diwani right there. ये दीवानी word जो है, it is derived from Diwan. Diwan मतलब tax collection. Okay, so the tax collection right over Bihar, Bengal and Odisha, it was given to British. After the Battle of Buxar, the British introduced a new system of governance in Bengal and that came to be known as dual government. Dual का मतलब है double. दो तरह की government रहा. Two systems of governance. So power remained in the hands of British and responsibility in the hands of Nawab. As you know that power and responsibility goes hand in hand. But that was not done in Bengal. क्या किया गया? Nawab had to look after administration. सारे administration activities was to be looked after by the Nawab of Bengal. Okay. Company will look after three things. Army, company was to look after army, judiciary, revenue. All important things, collection of revenue. Okay. Then giving justice. Then control of army. All this remained in the hands of British. British had power and Nawab had only responsibility. मतलब अगर कहीं भी लड़ाई हुआ, झगड़ा हुआ, तो दैट वाज टू बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय नवाब, बट आर्मी किसके पास था? ब्रिटिश के पास था. So this increased public suffering. The general public suffered because of this. And to add to the crisis, in 1770, the worst famine of Bengal took place. So the life of people became very harsh and very hard. So the system of dual governance was finally abolished in Bengal in 1772. It continued from 1765 to 1772, and the next governor of Bengal, Warren Hastings, abolished this system of dual governance in Bengal. After conquering the prosperous province of Bengal, the next target of British was the province of Mysore. It was in 1760 the Raja of Mysore, who belonged to Wadaya dynasty, died, and after that Hyder Ali became the ruler of Mysore. Nizam of Hyderabad and the Marathas were jealous of Hyder Ali, so they signed an agreement with British which came to be known as Triple Alliance. Triple Alliance was signed between these three: British, Marathas, and the Nizam of Hyderabad against Hyder Ali. So that led to the beginning of war between British and Hyder Ali. So there were 4 Anglo-Mysore wars, and ultimately after the 4th Anglo-Mysore war, the province of Mysore came under the control of British. So let us start with the first Anglo-Mysore war, which was fought between 1767 and 1769. British made triple alliance with the Marathas and the Nizam of Hyderabad. But Hyder Ali, so what he did, he made peace with Marathas, and in the war the Marathas did not support British, so he attacked Arcot. There was huge loss to the Britishers, and ultimately a peace agreement was signed in 1769. So that was the first Anglo-Mysore war. It was in the year 1780. English wanted to attack French at Mahe. Mysore hai, Mahe is here. So British wanted to come here to attack Mahe, and for this they needed to go through Mysore. So Hyder Ali refused to give permission. So British declared war on Mysore. So that was Second Anglo-Mysore War. That was the reason why the Second Anglo-Mysore War started. So after declaration of the war, Hyder Ali fought bravely. He captured Arcot also, but he died while fighting the war. His son Tipu Sultan led the battle, and finally it was in the year 1784 the battle ended with a treaty called Treaty of Mangalore, by which both the parties agreed to give back their territories. So that was Second Anglo-Mysore War. The Third Anglo-Mysore War continued between 1789 to 92, and Tipu Sultan, with the help of France, invaded the nearby state of Travancore. The British were waiting for the opportunity, so the war started. The result was defeat of Mysore. A treaty was signed at Srirangapatnam. The Third Anglo-Mysore War led to an agreement, a treaty known as Treaty of Srirangapatnam. As per the treaty, half of the territories of Mysore were given to the British. 2 sons of Tipu Sultan were taken by British as war hostages. So that was Third Anglo-Mysore War. Finally, it was in the year 1799, Fourth Anglo-Mysore War was fought. During that period, so the British made a plan to finally control Mysore. Mysore was attacked from 4 sides, and British won the battle. Tipu Sultan died fighting. The rest of the territories of Mysore were annexed by British, the Marathas and Nizam. So this was how Mysore came under control of the British Empire. After conquest of Bengal and Mysore, now the next turn was of the Marathas. The British thought of conquering the Maratha Empire. So it led to Anglo-Maratha wars. Now let us first discuss what are the causes of Anglo-Maratha wars. सबसे पहला, there were internal conflicts among the Marathas. Secondly, the growing ambition of the British also led to Anglo-Maratha wars, and there were three Anglo-Maratha wars. Now let us discuss the first Anglo-Maratha war. The first Anglo-Maratha war was fought between 1775 to 1782. And now what happened in first Anglo-Maratha war? British supported Peshwa Raghunath Rao against Madhav Rao. जो भी एंग्लो मराठा वॉर हुआ, हमने पहला रीजन पढ़ा, इंटरनल कन्फ्लिक्ट अमंग द मराठास, वो आपस में लड़ रहे थे। तो ब्रिटिश ने किसको सपोर्ट किया? पेशवा रघुनाथ राव, क्योंकि पेशवा के लिए दो कंटेस्टेंट्स थे, दोनों थे, तो माधव राव के खिलाफ पेशवा रघुनाथ राव को ब्रिटिश ने सपोर्ट किया। एंड British sent 2,500 men, mean soldiers, and so ultimately British were given Salsette and Basin, and Treaty of Salwai was signed between British and the Marathas in 1782, and there was 20 years peace between Marathas and British. So that was about first Anglo-Maratha war. Now we will discuss about the second Anglo-Maratha war. It continued between 1803 to 1805. Peshwa Bajirao II, he signed subsidiary alliance with the British. All of you know subsidiary alliance was an alliance which was introduced by Lord Wellesley, by which they would give an offer of friendship to the Indian ruler, and in return Indian rulers could not maintain other relations with other kings. So it was in one way controlling the Indian rulers. So Peshwa Bajirao signed subsidiary alliance. So Jaswant Rao Holkar did not support it. Okay, and so Peshwa Bajirao II signed subsidiary alliance, so it was opposed by Jaswant Rao Holkar, and again the Scindias and Bhonsle, they also opposed Peshwa Bajirao II's friendship with the British. Ultimately it led to second Anglo-Maratha war and the Marathas were defeated. But क्योंकि पेशवा बाजीराव टू ब्रिटिशर्स के साथ था, तो he was with the support of the Britishers. लेकिन बाकी जो जसवंत राव होलकर and other the Scindias and the Bhonsles, all the other Marathas, they were defeated by British in second Anglo-Maratha war between 1803 to 1805. The third Anglo-Maratha war continued between 1817 and 1818. And Peshwa Bajirao II, who had signed subsidiary alliance with British, he was fed up with the British interference. Now he realized his mistake and wanted to unite the Marathas to fight against British, but it was too late. He was defeated by the British, and the Maratha Empire was merged with the British Empire, and the Marathas were confined to the small province of Satara. So this was how the Maratha Empire came under British rule. After conquering the mighty Maratha Empire, now the next target of the British was to conquer Punjab. Until Ranjit Singh was there, they could not think of controlling Punjab. After his death, the British planned to conquer Punjab. And Punjab had a very strong army which consisted of Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs. So it was difficult to defeat them. So British planned to bribe the Prime Minister and Commander-in-Chief. So Prime Minister Lal Singh and Commander Tej Singh were bribed, and they just did treachery. It means they became traitors. They did not support the strong army of Punjab, rather they supported the British. So in first Anglo-Sikh War, Punjab was defeated because of treachery of Prime Minister Lal Singh and Commander Tej Singh. Now, it was in 1848 and 49, the British finally thought of taking the whole territory of Punjab. What the British government did? During that period, the British Governor General was Lord Dalhousie. So, what he did, he exiled Lal Singh on charges of treachery. उसने conspiracy किया बोल के उसको एक्साइल कर दिया गया, मतलब देश निकाला कर दिया गया, बाहर भेज दिया गया. एंड फाइनली पंजाब वाज एनेक्स्ड टू द ब्रिटिश एम्पायर इन इंडिया इन द ईयर 1849. सो दिस इज हाउ द Carnatics, Bengal, then Mysore, then the Maratha kingdom and Punjab also became a part of the British Empire. So this is how company rule was established in India.